My name is Jerry Barber, and I'm chairman of the board of Barber Wind Turbines, and we're building a totally different type of wind turbine. Ours is 800 kW. That's 800,000 watts. That's enough for about 300 U.S. homes. What I've done, I've taken the technology from the amusement industry, and I had built amusement rides for 18 years, and I looked at the big three-bladed turbines, and I read somewhere that 80% of their maintenance problems is that gearbox. My company, we built 30 different rides over those 18 years. We never put gearboxes in the middle because they're heavy, they tend to break down, they're expensive. Think of this new wind turbine as a 200-foot diameter bicycle wheel. And the rim actually has 3 tires that runs a generator. So there is no gearbox at all. No gearbox means no oil. We have nothing that burns. According to the experts, they say we're going to be about 20% more efficient. Plus ours lays down and can stand a Cat 5 hurricane. No other wind turbine can. We built a prototype a couple years ago. We learned a lot about it, made a lot of changes. We made a decision to go with DNVGL certification. And to get a wind turbine certified, only the really big boys do this. Once it's certified, it's bankable. It means that banks will, without questions, they will finance it. Right now, we're handling just the sales. And we're jobbing out our blades to Newberry, South Carolina, where they are having our turbines actually built in Concordia, Kansas. Now, the panels, the software, and all that is being done here in Easley by Patriot Automation. When we built the prototype, the technology was all the electrical switching gear and circuit breakers and all that were mechanical. Well, that world has changed. All that stuff now is digital. The beauty of it, if something goes wrong here, it can notify me on my cell phone. Everything's plug and play. Before, you had to really send an expert out and knew what they were doing, and so forth. The fastest growing right now, by far, is wind. Most people don't realize how fast technology is changing. You got to look at who's putting money into all this. The militaries are, automobile companies are, the cell phone companies are, because all the universities are. I think probably the biggest thing that I figured out very early about running a business, there's 2 things that counts. Number 1 is the ability of the owner to find, get, and keep good people. And 2, remember, running a business, you're only doing one thing all day long. You're selling. You're selling your employees why they need to stay extra hours. You're selling a supplier why he needs to give you a better price or earlier delivery. Not only selling your customers to buy your product. So you have to learn to be a salesman, and you got to keep your people. When I hire people, the last thing I always say to them, there's 2 ways you can get fired around here real fast. I says, I know you're going to have disagreements, we're going to have fights and squabbles. But if that's not settled, back to normal within 2 days, I'm not going to live in a cat fight. Well, they all understood that. The next thing I say, there's another way you get fired real fast. Don't make any mistakes. Now they know I've lost my mind. And I said, let me explain that to you. I'm hiring you because your brains, your experience, the fire in your belly. I want you to do is have the freedom to see where we are and go out and try to improve it. And if you try new things, I promise you, they're not all going to work out. You're going to make mistakes, and I will back you. I've had more employees come back a year later, so you don't realize how that freed us up to help improve the company. And one thing I was always able to do is get the employees very engaged, as engaged in the company as I was. I don't sit around and try to invent anything. I try to be observing, and I'm always looking for a need or a little niche, and then I can lay in bed and figure out a creative way to do it. But just like on the wind turbine, you know, there's a 1,000 little details that's different on this turbine that had to be figured out. Usually you can come up with 4 different solutions, and then all of a sudden one becomes obviously the best. You know, I've come up with a lot of patents I didn't do anything with. And the perfect example is the speed bump. I invented a speed bump that you can manufacture for a speed. Let's say you manufacture for 20 mile an hour. If you go over it more than 20 mile an hour, it's just like the asphalt one. If you go over under 20 mile an hour, you hardly feel it. Well, guess what? I've been so busy with my life, I didn't tell anybody about it. I still haven't. The patent's expired. I have learned a lot over the years. It used to be first to invent, and someone could file ahead of you, but if you improved, you got friends can verify that you invented it, it's still yours. Now that's not the case. It's first to file. So now if I come up with an idea, I'm not going to tell you. So what I do now, first thing when I've got an idea, I'll tell my patent attorney. Then I do what's called a provisional patent. And a provisional patent runs for 1 year. During that year, you can make some changes. You can still say it's patent pending, you're protected, but the clock hadn't started running on the patent yet, okay? Now, at the end of that year, you either pay to go for the patent route or it's gone. Then it's patent pending for 1.5 years. And let's say this company over here think, oh, I know how to get around his patents. I can make something kind of close to it. But if they don't know what I got pending, are they going to invest $5 million to find out this patent pops up and there's triple damages if you infringe? You know, it costs $10,000 to get a patent. So here is the thing. If you're going to get a patent, be thinking ahead of time. Someone's got to manufacture it and someone's got to market it. And you got to have both. I can honestly say I don't ever feel like I've ever gone to work. I don't even think about it. I just go do it because if it's not fun, I'm not going to do it. I've had failures, but I think rather than let myself get down on a failure, and this is a mental game I play with myself. I say, okay, I don't want to just correct this failure. Whatever I come up with has got to be better than whatever it was before. I don't care if a part breaks. I don't want to just fix it. When I fix it, I want it to be a better part.
How do you define innovation?
A lot of it's just getting a lot of experiences in different things and being very observant and figuring out what needs to be needed. My name is Jerry Barber, and those were my notes on innovation.